My dreams come true.
Hey everyone, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Crystal.
Ooh, beautiful intro.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yes.
And this is the bomb decom.
Decom. I don't always come in late.
I mean, you don't have to say it with me.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
we always do it together. Okay.
Yeah. We'll maybe hammer out our intro as we record.
Yeah.
Dear listener. But for now, you're getting
This
a
is
rough
what you
cut.
get. This is it.
Yeah. Great. And today we are talking about the
Paper
1996 Disney premiere film. Yeah, The Paper Brigade.
Yes.
Also known as Gunther and the Paper Brigade.
I saw that title when I was looking up where to watch, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Where did you watch it?
On YouTube.
That's where I watched it too. Did you watch the
Yeah.
one that like opened with like an HBO? Like,
Yes. So many HBO
Okay.
previews and promos, and I'm like, when does the movie start? Please. Oh, my God.
I actually
Yeah.
loved it because it was like clearly from the 90s, and I was like,
Mhm.
I have a love of like 90s just like TV promos.
Oh.
Like
true.
watching like old cassettes of like a Disney movie and watching those like old trailers. Like I just love
Oh, yeah.
watch. It makes me feel like I'm back in the 90s, so I always dig it.
I honestly did feel that way. It felt like I was watching an
Yeah.
HBO special on TV, and I'm like, this is the full
Yes.
experience.
I know, like, and now we're like, we have Max, the streaming service. Like,
Yeah.
shit has changed.
Truly.
Oh my goodness.
We've come
Yeah.
so far.
So, what's your like history with this film and like your initial thoughts?
Oddly enough, like this movie was one of my favorites when I was younger. Like I watched it
Ah.
multiple times in the past, but I really forgot the plot points. Like I forgot what to expect. I knew our homeboy was going to take over a paper route that he did not want, and that was and that there was some conflict, and that was pretty much it. And then I couldn't remember the details. But this I remember it being a movie that I really enjoyed in my youth. Like I don't know, maybe it was like Gunther's vibe. I identified with him a little bit. He's like kind of the cool, grungy sort of alt kid. And yeah, I don't know. I remember it being funny as hell, which it was. I had myself quite a few chuckles. So yeah, it was a nice little trip down memory lane. And
Yeah.
awakening memories, I guess, that I forgot were there. So
Yeah, I feel pretty similar in terms of like, this was definitely a movie I loved as a kid, but it's been at least 20 years since I've watched it, and so I didn't really retain much memory outside of the fact that it was. I didn't even remember that he didn't want the paper route. All I knew was like they're about paper boys. Like that's end of memory. And I remember Gunther really well because I thought Gunther was so cute, and I loved his like his 90s cool boy aesthetic. Like I really dug it.
Yeah. It was weird too.
Yeah.
He's got like the cool boy style and clothing, but his face is so innocent and round
so
and
cute.
adorable. Oh my God.
It is so adorable. I know.
He's just
I
such a
love his
cutie.
face. Yeah, it's very sweet.
So squishy.
Yeah, and the kid who played Gunther, I have his name here.
Oh, Kyle
call him by his
Howard.
name. Yes, Kyle Howard. He was also in this movie called House Arrest.
I feel like we were just talking about House Arrest.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's one where like they somehow it's something about trapping the parents in the house or basement or something.
Sounds
And
wild.
so between those two movies, I really, really like dug him. But
He does
rewatching
have
it, you
that.
know, yeah, he definitely had like a
Yeah.
90s little cute boy face.
Mhm.
Rewatching this, I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was a nice little romp.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't like necessarily watch it again.
Yeah. I do remember like really loving it when I was like 14 or something, but I don't know particularly why. I guess obviously it was closer in age to the kids in the movie, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
One thing I will say about the age of the kids in the movie, since you mentioned it, I feel like the kids in this movie present as wildly different ages.
Right?
In my opinion.
Like the paper boys are like, I feel like they're like 4 or 5 years younger than Gunther or something.
Yeah,
they
they're
seem
like
so small.
8 to 12. Charlie, the like head of the Paperboys, might be like 14.
Right. And then there's
Gunther is
Gunther,
like
maybe
15 or
16?
16 feeling.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then the love interest, Allison, is a grown woman. Like,
I-
that is a woman.
That was my first thought. I think I have it in my notes, and I'm like, is it just me, or is Allison easily like 7 years older than Gunther?
I looked up the ages of some of the actors because it was bothering me so much. And Kyle Howard, who plays Gunther, would have been 18 when they filmed, which shocked me because he looks like a baby.
Wow, he looks like a child. Absolutely,
He really does. But
that is wild.
so maybe he was like 17 when they filmed because he was 18 when it
Mm.
came out. But he still, to me, looks like 14. If I just saw him, I think he was like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, same.
Um,
How old is Allison?
Kylie Cochran, who plays Allison, was 22. So she was like a young, but she's a grown woman. Like she can go to a bar and drink.
Right.
You know, like, yeah. So
She was
the difference
presenting
came off.
very much as adult. Like, she had a job, she was working. Like, I don't know. She
Yeah.
just seemed like she wasn't the girl you see at school. She's living her life as a grown woman.
And like just like next to all these children in the plot, like I'm like
Mhm.
there's a woman. Like it made me feel so weird. And like Chauncey Leopardi, who plays Charlie, was 15 when the movie came out. And so I think
it's a
he like
small
looks his
15.
age. Should have been like 14 when they filmed. He was
Yeah.
also in The Sandlot.
The Sandlot. Mm-hmm. I feel like
Yes,
he didn't
The
really grow
Sandlot.
much as he got older. He pretty much looked the same for the next
Yeah.
10 years or so.
I agree. He was
Yeah.
also in an episode randomly of Boy Meets World.
Oh,
As a side note. Yeah, in like the first
Oh.
season. He plays like one of Corey's friends.
interesting. Okay, little 90s
Yeah.
king.
And then the little brother, played by Ethan Glazer, was 12. And he presents as a 12-year-old.
Okay, yeah.
Like
He
I
looks
think
12.
that aligns. But like not to jump to the end, but there is a moment where Allison is trying to get information from him. And she's like flirting with him. I hate to say flirting because like adults can't flirt with children. It's disgusting.
It was some heavy vibes, I will say. She didn't like really touch him. She was kind of like on him, and she touches him with the rose.
She pushed her body against him.
She did. Oh yeah, yeah. She was really up on him.
Yeah.
And I had a note that he started to hyperventilate after she.
I don't
was
blame
so
him.
close. Yeah.
He's a child, and he's like, this is wrong. And she's like, Andrew, have I ever told you that I find you so handsome or something like that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
ew.
She was like, you have beautiful eyes. I'm just like, he's so small.
I love your hand. Like, you have beautiful
She was like fond, like she was like touching him with the rose. It was so strange.
Yeah,
Very
I
much
hated every
like-
second of that.
It gave a lot of 40 Days and 40 Nights. I don't know if you remember that movie with Josh Hartnett in the rose.
I've never seen it,
that's
but
just-
I've heard about that scene. It's an
Mhm.
iconic scene that lives rent free in every millennial's head.
Yep. But yeah, it was an odd choice. Very odd choice of getting information out of him, but
I feel like the 90s was so that like it was okay for grown women to like flirt or sexualize little
Mhm.
boys because like isn't that every like young boy's dream to be
Right.
sexualized by an adult
by
woman?
an older woman. Mm-hmm.
Like gross. I remember that movie
So nasty.
Blank Check. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, never heard of that.
You never seen oh my gosh. Blank Check is a 90s classic.
Oh, okay.
Not to spoil it for you, but it's relevant, so I have to kind of do it a little bit. It doesn't spoil the whole plot, but I will just say there is like an adult female character who I want to say is in her 30s, like probably around our age now. And the main character is like an 11-year-old boy. And he has a huge crush on this character, which isn't abnormal. He's a kid.
Yeah.
And then
But what
at
does she
the end,
do in response? No.
at the end, when like they go their separate ways, she kisses him fully on the mouth.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
And is like, call me in 20 years. And he's like 10. She's like 15. And I like, that might be not completely
They're
accurate, but that's the
haggling
vibe.
his adulthood age that's appropriate for him to call her.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And I'm like,
That's-
there will never be
No.
This will never be okay.
It's not going to be okay at any time. Doesn't matter how many years pass. I mean, obviously, like, when you're both adults, great, but there will always be this this weirdness.
Yeah, it's like I met him when he was 11, but, you know, I waited him out. Can you imagine, like, Crystal, I met this really cool guy. It's not going to work right now, but I think in, like, 10 years it'll be perfect. And you're like, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
He's 11, but don't judge me. He's really cool and mature for his age. Like,
so sorry. The friendship would have to end. Like, it should. Yes, like, please call the police. Stop being my friend. Like, turn me in. I tell that to Silas all the time. I'm like, I'm a snitch when it comes to certain things. Like, if I find out you fucking with kids or you, like, murdered someone who didn't deserve it, I'm turning you in. Yep. I got the cuffs on me. Like, let's go. I'm going to call you an Uber so that you can get to the police station, babe. Like, you need help. You need to be detained.
Yeah, I hear that's like on the what is it? So the whole Danny Masterson situation. Have you heard of? Do you know who that? Yeah, and how like Ashton and Mila Kunis wrote him like
like they were defending his like a character reference thing, and they were pretty much defending him, and their only I guess explanation was that no one was supposed to see those letters. They were never supposed to be made public. I'm like, girl, that's the least of your problems. What about the content of the letters? Why are you doing character references for a man who has sexually assaulted multiple women? Like, can we not? Why?
Crystal, I know. And it's so bizarre because it's like, to your own detriment, Mila and Ashton. Like, even if you wanted to and thought it was okay to do, you had to realize that just like, in terms of a career move, that was not smart.
The way to go. No.
And so it's very strange to me that they did that. And then like Ashton stepped down as the like head of Thorn, which is like an anti-rape and abuse organization.
Oh, appropriate. Okay.
Yeah, but I was like looking at some comments about it, and everyone's like, he just stayed up for someone who was his friend, like da 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 da. And I'm like, I don't care who you are. Like, if 3 women came to me tomorrow and said like, Crystal sexually abused me, I'm gonna like have some issues with you. Same with Billy, and I'm not gonna write you a care. I'll be like, I thought I knew who you are as a person, but like, if one person shows up, I'm gonna hear you out. Like but multiple people were showing up saying that you did something. Like,
too much evidence.
Like I'm sorry, no, and we might just have lost some listeners going on this tirade, but I will never be a person who is quiet about what I believe in. Yeah,
strongly. Same. It's real issues. It's real shit. All I'm gonna say to round it out is that I'm glad he got his time. My man will be put away for 30 years. So
30 years.
Yeah,
and his wife is staying with him. She fully is like Team Danny.
Oh wow!
And I told Silas when I was reading about it, I'm like, Silas, I ain't the
if
one.
you ever do this shit, I'm out, baby. Those divorce papers will not be delivered fast enough.
Like, I'm not sticking around if you're a predator. Like, I'm just not doing it.
No, not in any aspect. Family, friends, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No, I know. Certain things you can't, in my opinion. There's no coming back from them. But.
There's no recourse.
Yeah. I know we're kind of going on a tangent, but like, some people like the talking at the beginning of podcasts, and we can always edit it out if we choose to. But I also wanted to bring up the morning show.
I like it. Oh, yes.
Okay, so spoilers ahead, listener. I would say maybe go forward about 60 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe a little bit more if you still hear us talking about it. Of course, like keep going forward. But okay, I'm in season 2. I don't want to get spoiled because I'm about halfway through. But I am finding the Steve Carell plot fascinating.
Yeah. In what way?
Because he is not an outright rapist. However, he is a guy who used his power to coerce and sexually take advantage of women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. And so like, he's not on the same level as like a Harvey Weinstein, but he's not a good guy. Right. But we're seeing in season 2 him really taking ownership. And it took a girl dying, which is fucked.
So sad. Yeah. So fucked up.
Yeah, that actually pissed me off that she died. I did not like that choice.
And like nothing could have prepared me for that. I could not have ever seen that coming. I feel like you have this way of predicting what's going to happen in shows. Like you kind of know, but and sometimes I do too. That just caught me fully off guard and I was upset. On her behalf.
there is a moment where you kind of see her wandering through the streets after she has
right,
the interview, and then I was like, oh, she's gonna die. Like, I knew then she was gonna die,
Dang.
but I was still surprised they were making that choice. But it was like literally right before she actually died.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming at all throughout the season.
I thought something was just going to happen to her where she might end up in the hospital for a few weeks, or, you know, she might be injured in some way, but death, full on death. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah,
because I'm also like I feel like I
okay.
also just knew Gugu Mbatha Raw, who plays her. I just felt like she wasn't in the second season. And I felt like her arc had played out. So I don't know, I just felt like she wasn't going to, I thought she was going to die for that reason too.
Damn.
Yeah.
But albeit like horrible reasons, he does have a lot of self-discovery, self-reflection going on in season 2, which I appreciate. But, but you know, still a little unforgivable.
No, it doesn't make amends, but it is like
a
question that I've always pondered and I don't have the answers. Like, where does like rehabilitation and forgiveness come into? I mean, some people do things so horrible, I think it's unforgivable. I'm not the person whose like job it is to draw that line. Yeah. But if someone does something and then truly seeks redemption, is there room for that?
I feel like in this case, okay, so what do you think his mindset was at the time? Was he like, yeah, I'm going to use my power and be a bad man right here in this moment? Or do you think he was more like, this is harmless, she won't mind, it's fine? Because you know how some men have that mentality where they don't necessarily consider the ramifications of what, like, they kind of like fly by the seat of their pants a little bit, as just in their nature. Not all men, I will say, not all men, but generally. And sometimes I feel like it can be that way, especially in this case, because he, you know, wasn't necessarily restraining anyone or doing anything wild in that sense, but he did use his position on the show to kind of manipulate these young assistants and young women that worked for him. Right. And it's like, did he feel bad in the moment, or was he just having fun and hoping that they were having fun too? You know?
I think he was having fun and assumed they were having fun too. Like, if you are a person who's told all the time, like, you're the greatest thing to ever happen, you're the best, you make all this money, you do have these, like, consensual relationships with women in large amounts, and they are grateful to an extent to fuck a celebrity, you know? True. I think you just have to, like, kind of buy your own hype that, like, that is the case for everyone. Like, anyone would be lucky to be
in this position. Right, exactly.
Yeah. I can't imagine, like, what that's like. To be told you're the best all the time. Like, you have to start drinking the Kool-Aid to some extent.
Yeah. I feel like you got to start drinking the Kool-Aid before you even get there. Otherwise, like, how do you get there?
Yeah, that's very true.
You got to have a little bit of cockiness, a little ego, yeah. I feel like in his case, especially with the taking ownership and just kind of like realizing what he did, period, it starts a path where I might be like, you know, maybe we can start talking about it. Maybe we can start looking into what you can do to really get to the root of this behavior and make sure it doesn't ever happen again, and really, you know, work through it and come out on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the case. Like, and because I don't think it's hard because while I don't think he was intending malice, he definitely prioritized his own pleasure over
the comfort and the situation for
like
the woman.
Picking up on what the women who came out against him were feeling. Yeah. Like, watching that, I'm glad, even though it was hard to watch, I'm glad they showed us the scene with him and Hannah, because she never says no, which doesn't mean it's consensual necessarily, but like, just to note that. But she, as a woman especially, like, is so clearly
uncomfortable,
not like disassociating to like she says she freezes, and like she obviously did freeze. Like, she is not at all reciprocating, reacting, like, and so knock my mic over. So like, how do you not notice that?
Right. How are you not conscious of the vibe with the other person? Like, you can't tell that she does not want this, or she's not giving you anything back. But
at the same time,
it's the ego. The ego is like,
it is.
Oh, she probably just wants me to be the generous one. I'll just give her what she wants. Like, he found a way to rationalize it in his mind and keep going.
I'm sure. And also men, especially like men of a certain age, are not taught to like be sensitive to things like that. So I'm not
True.
saying it takes him off the hook, but I think it's like a larger societal issue, not
Mhm.
just a him issue, where it's like, I mean, it actually made me think of the Aziz and Sari situation, if you
Oh,
recall
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And with him, I was like, it's kind of hard because she never did say she wasn't interested. She
Right.
kind of expected him to pick up on the vibes, but no one was in
Mhm.
the room. And this kind of felt like it might be comparable to what that experience was like.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's gray. I think
It
what
is.
pissed me off with him, with Mitch on Morning Show, is when she tells him her experience and he is completely unwilling to accept that her experience was different from his.
Right. He just assumes that I had fun. I'm sure you had fun. Otherwise, why were you there? What? Why did you stay? Why didn't you say something? It's just like,
and it's so shitty. Like, why would I want to hang out with you if not to fuck you? Like, that is essentially what he says to her.
Literally. And it's like, damn. So she has no value other than her body in that instance.
Basically.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah.
The Aziz situation kind of broke my heart because, I mean, obviously we don't know him, but from his persona on stage doing stand up and stuff, like he does seem like the guy that he portrays in his roles. Like he seems like that nerdy, sort of oblivious kind of, just funny, kind of innocent sort of dude. Yeah. And I feel like I have seen him in some food, like a food show or something where he is, I think, hopefully being himself. But it was just so hard to wrap my head around because, I mean, he just doesn't seem like the type of person who would continue to pursue after you say no. Like he seems like consent is, something he's cognizant of. So
that's the thing. Like she said, like, I'm not really comfortable with this. And then they stopped. And then eventually, somewhat organically, seemingly, they started going at it again. And she didn't say anything this time. And so, like, if she had said, like, no, stop, and he kept going up, there's no question, like, you're a predator.
Yeah.
But, and the thing is also hard, it's like, I think every woman I know that's been sexually active, including myself, has had a situation where something not totally consensual does happen. And you feel like, and it sucks because it's like, so it's also like, do I want to put myself in a situation where I consider that person, because I don't consider anyone who's done that to be a bad person inherently. I think it's like our society is really just like kind of fucked in terms of communicating, not even just for men to like pick up on things, but also for young women to speak up for themselves. Yeah,
the communication is flawed. It's broken. It's true.
Yeah.
Because when I think back on situations where I've been uncomfortable, I'm not going to put those people in a category of like abusers or predators or any, any harmful category. More so, I just wasn't in a place at the time to fully communicate that I don't want to do what's going on here or this is uncomfortable. And I did kind of go along with it. And they obviously were into it. So it's just like, who's to say? Who's to say? Like I was just inexperienced. Just a wee inexperienced babe.
And there's times like that where I definitely know I wasn't like going along with it in a way that I wasn't showing that I was into it. Right. I just kind of like letting it happen to me. And so because it's such a common experience, it's like with someone like Aziz or the character of Mitch, I have to hold forgiveness, and I personally have to hold forgiveness in my heart for them because I enact that in my real life. Yeah, I feel that. But I mean, I would not ever tell anyone else I need to feel that way. I'm just saying personally. Yeah, just for myself. Yeah, for my personal experience. Take ownership, accountability, and apologize and work to do better. That is what matters. I know Aziz, like in his latest stand-up that came out a couple years ago now, he opened saying like, you heard this thing about what happened and it's awful. I hate that I made anyone ever feel that way. But I hope that if any good can come out of this, people know to like listen better, essentially, to take in their partner's feelings more and not just like push forward. And I was like, that is like, wow, he's made progress. Yeah. So anyway, he's learned from it. Yeah. Well, I can't wait for you to get to the end of the morning show. Well, season 3 just came out. Yeah, and I haven't even seen it.
So
Okay. We'll see.
well, the end of season 2 honestly was already wilding. But yeah.
No doubt. Awesome. Okay, well, back on topic. I guess I
Okay.
will
Back to the Paper Brigade.
get
Let's do
back
this.
into the Paper Brigade. I have my notes up.
Same.
Yeah, I will say that this movie was directed by Blair True. I'm not sure if that's how you say their last name, but they also directed Wish Upon a Star, the last film we talked about.
Oh
And
my God.
they directed other DCOM film, Phantom of the Megaplex. So
A classic.
that one.
A fave.
I've never seen that one, or if I have, I don't remember it.
What?
I know there are like a few ones that I was still in my Disney bag, but I just never saw them. So it's like that one. I've never seen Rip Girls. I've there's just like a few
I've
of them.
seen that one, but I don't remember that one. I will say Phantom of the Megaplex, I did recently, when I say recent, like within the last year or so, I did rewatch it a couple of times. So I think that's why it's so fresh in my mind, but it was one of my favorites. And I did remember most of the plot points before I rewatched it recently. So
Oh, wow.
I can't wait to get to that one because it's like borderline. I remember when I was younger, I was borderline scared watching that movie. Like it was just a little bit creepy, but it is like the right sense of mystery for a child or like for a young teen, like to kind of get into it.
Cool.
Okay, can't wait to watch that one.
I
I'm
look
shocked
forward to
that the
that.
same director directed Wish Upon a Star because I felt no similarities. I didn't even feel. I don't know if there's really a way to like gauge directorial style in Disney Channel movies, like if you can kind of tell, but I would never have thought that they were directed by the same person.
It's hard because they are like extremely dissimilar, like very different movies.
Very different.
So I can't.
That's interesting.
Say, and I mean no shade, but no DCOM directors like an auteur, like they're not doing any like really experimental shit. So
not like some weird Christopher Nolan type shit.
Yeah, we don't have any Wes Andersons of DCOMs where it's like, oh, like obviously that's Blair True.
That's their signature. Look at that style. Oh my God. True.
Oh my God. Awesome. Okay, well, let's jump into the synopsis.
Let's do it.
All right, and then just jump in with any notes, thoughts along the way.
So many.
Okay, so great, perfect. We open on an idyllic neighborhood and see a kid delivering newspapers. Then we see a family in New York City about to move to the neighborhood we saw in the opening scene. We see a mom, a dad, a boy who's about 11, Andrew, and then we see Andrew's older brother, who is our protagonist, Gunther. He gets quite an entrance.
He really does. The rock music that plays as he's like walking down the hall. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like the guitar in this movie, like the background music or soundtrack is like it's just it's going.
Yeah, truly quintessential 90s cool guy music.
Yeah, and he like is completely a 90s cool guy. His look is he's nailing it.
I always wondered what his parents did though, because they lived in a nice ass building in New York with the doorman and everything, and I'm like, what do they do? Who's making the cash monies?
I wonder, because we never see either of them working. We only see them around the house.
They don't even talk about work. They don't say like, oh, I've got to go to this conference or like none of that. Yeah, we honestly barely see them. So
that's true. That's true. We don't see much of them, but we know Gunther's cool. We know Gunther's cool because he seems to have little tolerance for his parents, and his parents seem immediately annoyed with him as he enters. So he's got the rollerblades. Yes, he's got the rollerblades. They pull away with their moving truck, and all their stuff falls out.
Yeah, literally. I knew as soon as his dad was like, Gunther, did you lock the U-Haul doors like I asked? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I know that shit's gonna fall out. I know it's not locked.
Gunther's like, he has growth in this film, obviously, but at the start, he's low-key a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, he's like an awful kid.
Like, he couldn't be my son. And I feel like whenever I talk to white people about these types of, like, characters, like, oh, yeah, that's just, like, normal. And I'm like, okay, so, like, these people are rooted in real white world.
Like, true. Like, this is a depiction of a typical white family in America. And I'm like...
a rich-ass white family. Like...
could never be me. Like, I would have gotten my ass handed to me. I'm so sorry. but
Same, girl. Same. Like, not in my black household. I tell South all the time, not in my black household.
Absolutely not. It would never fly.
Um,
But yeah. My dad would be like, "What did you say? Excuse me?" Don't
yeah,
talk
and
to
then
me.
if
Like,
I hadn't done it and all our shit fell out,
that would have been the end of my short life right there. Very
I
short
don't
time on
care
Earth.
if I had a clear memory of doing it. I'd be like, let me go down.
Yeah, let me check. Let me make sure, please. Don't drive away just yet. Hold on.
Oh my God. I
Oh,
remember,
no.
like,
He just doesn't even
we
care.
had this friend growing up. Well, I don't think she was your friend very little, but, you know, at some points, Mariah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I thought you were
I
gonna
went to
say
high
someone
school.
that I wouldn't remember. I'm like, I remember.
No, I knew you'd remember her. I'm just like, you
Oh.
you were on and off
Yeah.
again kind of friends and, like, obviously fully off now. But
Brain
anyway.
Cantaloupe. No, was that
We went to
Gemini?
high school. That was both of them.
Oh.
No, actually, you said something worse about Mariah that I will not repeat on the podcast.
Okay. God damn.
I love, don't question it. Like, okay, this probably
Yeah,
feels bad.
I'm not, because I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna leave that
The
where it's at.
mid-aughts were a different time, dear listener.
Truly. Different, Crystal. Completely.
But yeah, she told her, she was also white and rich. And apparently she got in her fight with her mom because, like, she was trying to do her homework and her mom was, like, asking her about something. I don't know. And she told her mom to go suck her husband's cock. As in, like, Mariah's father.
Oh my God. Those words were not even in my vocabulary inside my household at that time. There was no way.
I couldn't even fix my mouth to say something
Right.
so appalling.
It would not even make the motion. Cannot get there.
It would choke coming out.
Literally choke on the words before they could come out because it would just be my body trying to preserve my life at that point. Just from instinct.
Yeah, and
just from...
if somehow I got those words out, I wouldn't have finished that sentence because
Nope.
I would have been deaded before I got to the end of that.
Laid out.
And my mom did not hit me. My mom did not abuse me, but, like, I knew not to fuck with that lady. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I know
knew
not to fuck with
better.
her now. I'm not even her child. Like, shit.
She loves messing with you, though.
She really does. She
I
comes
know.
for me any chance she can, and I'm just like, I just love you, Mama Robin. Okay.
It's so funny when she does that. It's like she got, when I went to McDonald's with Monica when we were in high school, Monica didn't order fast enough, and my mom's like, you all come to McDonald's all the damn time. Like, you should know what you want. And Monica's
Know
like,
your order.
Monica started stuttering.
The poor baby.
Oh my
no.
God.
She was
One of
not
these
ready
days I'll
for-
have to
for Mama
have,
Robin.
no, I'll have to have my mom on the pod.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. I got to pick the
Endless
right
entertainment.
decob. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be one with, like, I feel like a single mom perspective. She'll have a lot to say.
Ooh,
So much
yeah,
to
or like
say.
a single parent. Yeah.
Single parent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lots of single parents on Disney Channel.
So many.
Um,
Disney loves a tragedy. They sure do.
It's very true. All right. Okay. So all the stuff out of their movie, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. So ridiculous. I would have been so
cannot-
fucking pissed. I would have been so pissed.
Oh my God, I cannot imagine. Anyway, we see them arrive at their mansion. Okay, like that house is huge.
So big. Big ass front yard. It looks so nice.
Yeah, we also go inside of the home where most of the family is bringing boxes in,
Mhm.
and Gunther's sitting on his ass.
Yeah,
and while
flipping
the
through
family
horse
is,
channels.
I'm also like, if you have this much money to buy this mansion, hire movers. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. What the hell?
Ridiculous.
Please.
But the doorbell rings, and Gunther, who is not doing a damn thing, is like, is anybody gonna get that? And then his dad gives him a look.
He's like,
And they're like, I got
he's
it.
like, I'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He
that's what
pulls
I
it
thought.
together.
Get up. God.
I can't imagine, like, he would have been sitting there watching horse channels to begin with, but whatever.
Flipping through horse channel after horse channel. That's all that's on the TV.
Unbelievable.
Good Lord.
So funny. So at the door is Charlie Parker, a kid from the neighborhood. That's the kid from the Sandlot. And he says hi, introduces himself, and Gunther is like not interested in knowing this kid at all.
No, he's like,
Just
well,
like-
got a lot of moving to do. Like he's not
Gotta go,
doing
bye.
shit.
Yeah. So okay, they go to. Wait, what? Oh, they go to the mall.
Oh,
yeah.
mhm.
Gunther and Andrew go to the mall. Where Gunther sees and instantly falls in love with Allison,
grown-ass woman.
who a
She's
grown-ass
25.
woman,
25
a
years
notable grown-ass woman with a 401k and 3 kids now, but she's like, she's a grown-up.
old. Yeah.
And she works at the food court. We then see 3 bullies approach, and they immediately roast Gunther for his name.
Oh my god, they went in.
Did you Gunther in your pants?
Oh my god, I think I just stepped in some Gunther.
Gunther.
Ugh. I'm like, god damn. All this dude did
Yeah,
was
they roasted his
be names.
ass.
Ugh,
Yeah,
I felt so bad
we
for
find
him.
we find out because the head bully Chad is in love with Allison too, I guess.
Yeah.
And he does like that gross thing where he's like, "Don't talk to Allison,
Keep
she's
talking
my
to
girlfriend."
She's like, I'm
And
not your girlfriend.
No. And I'm like, don't just call someone your girlfriend. That's fucking weird behavior, okay?
So odd. The entitlement.
so
Like,
odd.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He makes me wonder if
we-
he's like the original Chad. You know how like we know Chads like today.
oh
I
yeah.
feel like he is the epitome of the beginning of the Chad.
But you
It's
know who's
just
like
so
the
gross.
best Chad?
Ooh.
Chad Rodwell.
Oh my god, I need to watch Scream Queens. I know the references, but I need to watch that.
I rewatched it during the pandemic with my roommates. It is not a good show, but it is a hell of a good time. It is really fun. And it's the season, you know, it's Halloween.
Oh,
So.
facts?
You know, that
Yeah,
could actually
put
be
on my
fun
list.
because I do want to start a Patreon. That could be like a
my
fun
God.
bonus episode thing, doing
Yeah.
episode of the Scream Queens.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that is a good idea. And like other movies or shows that we like
Yeah.
that are just outside of the decom realm.
Yeah, let's start with
Mm.
Scream Queens and then maybe we can like have our listeners vote as we accrue them and, you know, do different shows. And that's like
Okay.
the easiest way and like interesting and fun. And it'd be fun to do like mini series because like Scream Queens technically it's 2 seasons, but season 1 is like self-contained and like season 2 is really shitty. So we would just watch season 1.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, back to the movie. Okay, so we then see Charlie and his friends show up, and they warn Gunther to leave Allison alone because of Chad, you know, basically quote unquote claiming her.
Claiming her.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So Gunther and Andrew then go with Charlie to meet the rest of his buds, and they're attempting to set the world record for the biggest bubblegum bubble.
So funny.
Yeah, this seems
like-
funny to me.
He's like egging him on, like, okay, 2 more pieces. And the like fish, the guy who's like chewing the gum, he's like, that's enough. I'm like,
Yeah.
What? I'm just like, it's like, this is what I want people to think of when they say boys will be boys. Like, it's this type of shit. Like-
Did you ever though like go through that phase where you would try to like break a world record?
No.
I feel like I never actively tried, but I think my friends and I would like look at the Guinness book and be like, "Oh, we should try to beat that. We
Oh.
should try to beat that," but we'd never
Yeah.
actually do it.
I definitely was
Yeah.
fascinated with the Guinness book. And they had like that, they had a TV show about the Guinness World Records as well. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I never like thought that I could try to beat any of the records. I would always just be like, wow, that's wild. Oh my gosh. And then leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I secretly knew I couldn't beat them, but I still
Still had
acted
the,
as
yeah,
if I could to an extent.
Yeah. That's
Um,
harmless.
It's funny because the bubblegum kid, Fish, recites like what the world record for biggest bubblegum ball or bubble is, and Gunther, who is understandably surprised by him just like riffing on this knowledge, Charlie's reaction is like, "Are you kidding me?" He has the whole book memorized. Like that's a normal
Like,
thing.
That's not normal. That's definitely unorthodox. Okay. That's out there.
And Charlie shaming Gunther for his very reasonable question just cracked me up. we see the kid who was throwing papers at the beginning of the film, and we learn that he is leaving for the summer, and he needs a replacement to deliver the newspapers. Charlie's like, I have an idea. What if Gunther does it? And Gunther's like, nah, miss me with that. I'm not doing it.
Not. Honestly, same.
Yeah.
Could never be me.
He's not about that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. So we see Gunther spit ping pong balls into his lighting fixture, which was like high-key disgusting.
So gross, right? Stuffing them in his mouth, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated every second of it.
Boys.
And then we hear a voice from under his pillow, and it turns out that Charlie had Andrew sneak a walkie-talkie under Gunther's pillow. He is so thirsty for this friendship.
He really is. And I was thinking,
it's sad.
In my head, I'm like, you know what? I feel like when I was maybe 13, 14, I would have thought this was so cool. Would have been gone out on my balcony with the walkie-talkie like, hey, oh my God, da da da. Now, or even 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, the walkie-talkie is going in the trash. I have no interest in new friends. I'm good. And especially not this method of friendship where you accost me while I'm laying in bed with a walkie-talkie under my pillow. No, that's not the move.
I mean, it depends. Like, I'm definitely like down for new friends. I think no new friend is like an unhealthy mentality, to be honest. But I will say this. No, I mean, I think we grow and change as people, so therefore new relationships are healthy. But that aside, I will say that this guy is coming in hot with weird energy, and I would not be down.
It is super weird. And I just wonder what Andrew was thinking when he put the walkie-talkie there. Like, what did he think Gunther's reaction was going to be when this guy started talking through the walkie-talkie? Like, hello?
Maybe he wanted to get rid of Charlie, too. He's like, you know what? If I do this for you, will you just stop talking to me?
Probably. He just like goes inside. He's like, all right, see you later. Oh, God.
Yeah. Gunther is like, I don't do walkie-talkies. And is like, bye.
He shuts it down. Yeah.
And, you know, good for him setting boundaries, which we all should do.
Truly. He's good at it. He's a good communicator above all else.
Yeah. Yeah. We then see him back at the mall where he's at Allison's ice cream shop, and he's just like ordering all the ice creams because he wants to hang out with her.
Eating every flavor.
They realize that they both love this band called Screaming Banshees. And I'm like, dude, that is so fucking 90s. Like, I miss the 90s.
Same.
Yeah. So we then cut to the pool, which earlier in the film, the dad specifically mentioned is Gunther's responsibility. While I think it's good to give a kid chores, you don't have a kid like Gunther be in charge of stuff without any oversight. Nope. So honestly,
certainly not pool maintenance.
Yeah, we see the pool. It's really shitty, and it's on the dad, honestly, because he knows his son. Yeah, so we see the pool looks terrible. At the same time, the bullies run into Gunther, and they talk about the fact that Screaming Banshees is coming into town, and they have tickets. They have a pair of tickets, and they offer to sell it to Gunther for $150. Gunther is shocked by like how expensive these tickets are, and I'm just like, if only he like knew what was coming down the pipeline.
I'm like, man, I wish concert tickets were $150 for a pair right now. That would be a steal.
A absolute steal.
Like, are you kidding me? People out here paying an arm and a leg their firstborn child to go see Beyonce. Like, you don't even know. You don't know the half of it.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I found that very hilarious. So we see Gunther smooth talking his dad, trying to get money for the concert. And his dad surprisingly is like, you know what? I might be sending you a mixed message, but you are my son. And I do love you. And I'll give you the money.
Sweet. I'm like,
it was very sweet. Yeah, it was very sweet. But then, of course, just as he's about to get the money, the pool, like, gasket or whatever. It explodes. And the dad's on a ladder, so it hits the dad, knocks off the ladder. And Gunther's reaction to this is like, so are you going to give me a cash or check?
I'm like, bro, your dad is hanging from a basketball hoop. Like, please table this conversation.
Oh my God. Like, if I ever had a kid this ungrateful.
Lord help me.
Oh my God. Yeah. So Gunther then talks to the bullies like, oh, so I don't have any money. And they're like, well, you better get the money because that price just went up $175 now because of interest.
So grimy. Ugh.
So Gunther asks his brother for money, and of course the brother's not going to give him that money. And as
He
a last
doesn't even
resort,
get the question out. Andrew's just like, as soon as he comes in the room, actually, Andrew is like giving him the side eye. Like, what the fuck does this guy want? And then he
Andrew
does like
knows,
the
like-
little, he's like, Andrew. And it's like, no, not another dime. Like, damn,
Because even
okay,
though
Andrew.
his brother only wants to hang out with him when he wants his money.
It's
Andrew's
true.
hit to the game, okay?
He knows what's up. He sure does.
So as a final result, he like goes to Charlie. He's like, you know what? I'll take that Paperboy gig. Charlie's about his business, and he's like, are you going to commit to this the whole summer? Like,
Right.
are you actually down for this? And Gunther's like, yeah, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie tells him to meet him at 5:30 a.m. at his house. Gunther on the phone to this didn't react, and I was like, I'm surprised. And then he like takes a beat and 5:30 and like so delayed reaction.
Yeah.
He has the coolest alarm clock that I actually remember my friend having in the 90s.
Yes. I remember this from when I watched it before, the alarm clock.
Yes, me too.
And like
yeah.
the specific actual rhythm, the boom, 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 boom,
Hey.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I loved
Hey.
it so
Yeah.
much.
I know. I actually went on eBay to try to find it after this.
You did? Oh my god, did you find
Yeah, but I
anything?
can't find one.
Oh damn.
I know. I need to look harder, but
Maybe
I
I'll
actually
try my
recently
hand.
heard that it's like healthy to not have your phone in the room with you when you go to sleep because you'll be less tempted to obviously like be on it,
Oh,
which
Right.
can
Mhm.
disrupt your sleep. And so I was like, oh, I'd be down to try that, which means I'd have to get an alarm clock. And I was like, this would be the perfect alarm clock.
Amazing. The coolest alarm
Yeah.
clock on the planet. Truly.
Exactly. So
Unless
Anyway.
you're as deep of a sleeper as Gunther, because it won't do shit. You'll sleep right through
no,
it.
that boy has a medical condition. I am concerned for him.
I thought the same thing. Because what the hell?
Like, okay, so Gunther is asleep. His alarm clock goes off. He does not
Mhm.
react at all. It wakes up his brother, Andrew, in the next room. Andrew goes into Gunther's room to wake him up. He's shaking him. He's yelling at him. Gunther
Yeah.
will not stir. This
Nothing.
man, this boy gets rollerblades on his brother
Right.
somehow and rolls him to the
Like,
bathroom,
Picks
puts him
him
in
up,
the
rolls
tub,
him in the bathroom. Crazy. He's
and
sleeping.
fully, like, sprays him with, like, the shower.
I'm assuming cold shower water. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I won't keep mentioning it, but I will just say that he does this several times.
So many times.
Oh my
Gunther
god,
just cannot wake up. Like I'm concerned for him a little bit.
something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
So he makes it to Charlie's, and he is off to his first day.
Oh yeah. But he foolishly
so-
throws away that little note of tips because the previous paperboy who left, like, wrote down some tips for him, and he just crumpled it up and
Yes.
threw it into the street. Littering, also terrible. But
yeah, that was really, really. I did not like that.
But why would you do that? Why would you ever do that? Somebody, if I'm starting
I-
a new job and somebody wrote down some helpful tips, like I would keep that close to the chest. Like, let's see what they've got to say.
Absolutely. Like, give me some cheat codes. Like, make this job as
Yeah.
easy for me as possible.
As easy as it can be. That's what I want.
Yeah, and like a lazy girly knows that. So like as
Mhm.
a lazy dude, I'm surprised that Gunther does not know that
Shook.
he should do that.
So sure.
So he starts delivering newspaper. He nails the first house. However, the rest of the homes he delivers to, it's a total shit show. He's terrible at this.
Absolutely.
He's breaking vases. He bikes by a treehouse where these two little shits like pelt him with fruit.
With fruits. Yeah. I'm like, where are their
Yeah.
parents? What is going
Yeah.
on?
It's not good. There's like a dog situation where there's a little dog that sits in the window
Mhm.
and he barks at Gunther when he sees him, and that sets off this bigger dog that lives next door that jumps over the fence and attacks the paper boy.
I don't know if you saw
Um,
the sign for the dog, but it said
Mhm.
warning, bad dog. And I'm like, I didn't even know that people made bad dog signs like that. Like for
No,
you to
they don't
literally
do that.
put
That's
in
for
your
the
yard.
movie. No
Uh,
one does that.
That's what I was
Who
thinking.
has-
I'm like,
Who
no
has
one
a dog
has
they
a
consider to
bad
be a
dog.
bad dog? Like,
Honestly, like what? And if you think your dog is a bad dog, like train your dog, babe. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, like you're the
You
problem.
don't just put up a
Like,
sign that says bad dog.
I miss that, but I hate it.
Yeah, I hated it. So it was So shitty.
So we didn't go to him. There's a few weird moments in this movie, but Gunther goes to a milkman who is Asian. I note that because it is relevant. He has a very thick accent, and Gunther asks him where Maple Street is, and to which the milkman replies like, "What are you saying? Like, you better speak better English," and stuff like that. And it's clearly like a joke because like he doesn't speak perfect English. Like,
right.
It's gross and weird. I did not like it.
Bizarre, yeah.
Yeah, and completely unnecessary. And I did not like it. But anyway.
This was our resident like Asian actor in Disney movies. In the 90s, I would say. Joey Miyashima. I've seen him so many times in like 90s movies as the token Asian dad, Asian man, Asian teacher, or something.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He's been in so many. We'll probably see him many times again.
Wow. Well, I mean, I want to be excited for the representation, but not if it's like this.
This was painful. It was weird.
Yeah. It was like also, there are some offensive jokes where it's like, it's fun. It's fucked up, so it's not funny, but it's like funny. This was just like not funny. Like it fell flat. Yeah.
Yep. Completely.
Like just a joke at a band's expense for little or no reason. But he tells Gunther like this really convoluted path, and Gunther's like, "Why can't I just go through here?" Which I'm like, if you knew you could just go through here, Gunther, like, why'd you ask this man?
Yeah. Why didn't you just start walking through there? Exactly. And I'm like, hello?
Yeah. And then this guy, the milkman, tells him, oh, because like old man Cooper lives on that path, and he's like, he was in World War II, and he's like shell shocked. Which
don't do it.
I didn't feel great about them making fun of like, post post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like,
anyway,
he's mentally unwell. Like, let's not poke
and
him.
he's played by, let me look up his name real quick. Robert Englund.
Oh yeah,
who is most
also
famous
Freddy
for
Krueger.
Exactly.
I was shook when I looked that up, and I'm like, oh my god.
I recognized him because I recognized him as Freddy Krueger, and then he was also on the most recent season of Stranger Things. And he looks like himself on that, and so I was like, oh yeah, that's like the dude.
Oh my god, he was. I did not even remember that. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, my man's still out there doing his thing. Like that.
Still getting work. We love to see it. So he is obviously like very unstable. He fully like attacks Gunther with like a paintball gun and his geese.
The geese would scare me to death. Oh my god. Well, geese are so aggressive.
They are famously dicks. Like, they are famously assholes. So,
an army of geese, I'd be shitting, crying, running.
Yeah, I'd be out.
Life.
I'd be out.
But I mean, milkman warned him.
Yeah, exactly. So Gunther learns the hard way that this is not the way. And after this, he is like ready to quit. He's had quite a terrible day. And just as he's ready,
beat the fuck up. Like, he looks like he's
he looks like shit. And just as he's like telling Charlie, like, I'm out, he has one more delivery. And whose house is it? Allison's.
Of course.
So he tries to leave and it's pull him back in.
Is that our paper?
Yeah, she also does have this like, oh, Gunther, like, I expected more from you. Is that our paper? Oh, like, she is like a very like, I don't know. I'm sure people talk like that, but I can't. It's just like soft, a male fantasy of a woman.
Exactly.
It's almost
like she's like a caricature of, this most feminine, soft type of woman personality.
Hyper femme soft girl. Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's it.
Yeah, so he is back in it because it's Allison's house. And he remembers why he's doing this in the first place, which is to take Allison to see Screaming Banshees.
Yes.
So we go to the mall, and Gunther asks Allison to the concert in kind of a cute way. He puts like the tickets in the napkin dispenser and like, oh, you need to fix this. And, she sees it in there.
It was adorable. He's a romantic. I like him.
He is. He seems like he'd be a good boyfriend for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Very sweet.
Yes. And so I thought it was weird though that like Chad, who's in love with Allison, wouldn't have tried to take her with
because he already had the 2 tickets. So I'm like, Why are you
I
getting rid
have-
of them? I don't understand.
I actually was thinking about it. I'm like, maybe he bought the tickets to do this, and then she said no.
Oh, and so he's like, all right, I'm just gonna sell them. Might as well torture this young man as well. And then
Yeah, like he doesn't even like Screaming Banshees. He just wanted to take Allison. That's my thought on it. But it's
I
still
could see
weird that
that.
he would sell them to his like rival, Gunther.
Yeah, who he knows also is in love with Allison. So like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's very strange.
don't
But it seems
understand
like
Chad.
Chad has that initial thing with Allison, but then he seems like completely like to not care about Allison. Like
We
that never comes back into play.
Same. Yeah, we never see him even speaking to her or about her ever again. So I don't know.
Yeah, that actually was like they should have excluded that from that scene because it doesn't at all. It conflicts with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he could have just been a regular old bully for no reason, not have anything to do with
just like
Allison.
a real asshole. Yeah, and then like bullied him or like sold him the tickets. That's his introduction as a character, and then he's bullying Gunther because Gunther owes him money.
That could have been it for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, plot holes abound. So we see Gunther goes to a house to give them their paper, and the door's kind of open, and he like walks in like, "Hello, I have your paper. I want to make sure you get it." And there's an older lady who we find out is Mrs. Hanson.
So sweet.
And she offers him cookies. And she is watching a previously recorded baseball game. Like, can't relate to that, but
yeah, same.
She seems into it.
So into it. Loves baseball so much.
Yeah. And then she asks Gunther about it, and he's like, "Oh, I like baseball too. That's cool." She recollects about when she moved here, and she says that she was just his age, which is weird because you don't know how old this boy is. You just
really
met him, and you didn't say like about his age. You said just his age.
Just your age. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also when she met her husband,
Yes.
when she first moved to the neighborhood.
Yep.
But yeah.
So she meets her husband, who we hear more about later.
Yes. Mr. Henson.
Yes, Mr. Henson. He leaves that house, and we see the bullies like fully try to murder Gunther.
Literally. Attempted murder. I wrote down, what did I put in my notes? Pressing charges. 100%. They could have killed him.
Like, they're doing some real mafia shit. Like, if you don't give me my money, I'm going to murder you. Like, I'm threatening your life. Like,
literally.
It's not kid shit. It's mafia
It's not
shit.
so baby town frolics. They're out here for blood.
Baby town.
That shit really, that scene was wild. I was like,
yeah.
Excuse me? My boy could have been gravely injured. Like,
and in real life, he probably would have been.
Yeah, absolutely would have been. For sure.
Yeah, but he ends up in like some random guy's pool. And I love that moment because the guy's like just pruning his like bush and he just like looks at Gunther.
Complete silence. Yeah. Just so apathetic. Just like, I'm like, what is he thinking? Does he just think
I know
more teenage boy shit? Like, what are the thoughts? Oh God. He's so done with life.
I love it. I love that guy. Like, give him his Oscar, okay? The older I get, the more I relate to that.
I am that guy pruning my hedges when a
just
young,
trying to get my life
teen falls
trying to get
into
my life
pool.
under control, and then like chaotic shit finds me.
just falls into my pool.
Oh, I love it.
Relate so hard.
Okay. Okay, so then Gunther goes around and collects the money for his paper route, and we see one guy who also lives in this nicest neighborhood in his mansion, alone seemingly, with his like convertible,
Seems
and
like
he
a single
sneaks
guy.
away.
Such a deadbeat.
Because he doesn't like who's stealing from children?
Right?
Where did
You're
they do
stealing
that at?
from
Like,
your neighborhood paper boy? Like, I'm sorry. You're disgusting. And he
and
absolutely
he looks
has
so
scammer face. Like, he looks like a scammer.
And he feels so good about it driving away. He's like,
got him.
Like, like,
I'm like, oh, you're so gross. Like, what are you doing in your house all alone? I don't even want to know.
Nothing good.
Nothing good. Like, ew. Nasty.
Oh my God. So when Gunther gives Charlie his paper money, he finds out that paper boys usually get tipped. but because he's so garbage at his job, he didn't get it one damn tip.
He ain't
Charlie
get
was like,
nothing.
my guy, like, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but
I've been
you need
getting
to step
some
your
complaints.
you need to step your pussy up. Okay.
Facts.
Ooh. Oh my god. And you know what? Gunther does step his pussy up.
He
He comes to win. He like brings distractions for the dogs, lettuce for the geese. He like, you know,
he crafted like full on body armor to protect against those two little dimwits throwing fruit at him and shit.
He goes to war with like Old Man Cooper.
Yeah,
and
which was so wholesome.
Old Man, it really was like Old Man Cooper's like, respect, you know, you get it, and you
He's
got
like,
me,
no one's ever shot me before. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's like delighted by it, and he's also like, please, like come back, like
don't be a stranger.
Yeah, like he seems like he really just is like lonely, and
he wants a friend.
It was very sweet. I hope that Gunther does visit him frequently.
Yeah, same. I like to think that in that universe they are lifelong friends until Old Man Cooper passes away. And maybe Old Man Cooper leaves his estate to Gunther because now he's like a son to him or something.
Oh, yeah. I also love Gunther's relationship, which we do see play out somewhat with Mrs. Hanson.
Oh, yeah. He's such a sweetie.
Yeah.
He's just a
he is
kind-hearted baby. Love him.
Yeah. He like low-key sucks at the beginning, but he does.
Yeah.
He does step it up.
Neighborhood does a little something to him.
Yes. And then Gunther quotes Julius Caesar. I came, I saw, I conquered.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which he did.
Yes. And then Cooper asks him, you know, what regiment are you in? And Gunther proudly says, the Paper Brigade.
Daddy. Yes. He just came up with that on the fly. I'm like, damn.
We really did. Yeah. Which I will just note here that when I Googled Paper Brigade to like see if there's any fun facts or anything interesting about the movie, I don't know if you experienced this too. It initially came up with like a group of enslaved Jewish individuals during World War II.
Oh, no, I did not see that at all.
Yes, and I did not do as much research on it as I should, but it felt like the name might be a little insensitive because the movie has a number of World War II references.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like it was intentional.
Yeah, because how would they be putting those references in there and not have done the research when the name of the movie is The Paper Brigade? So
exactly.
Oh,
so
that's a little gross. That's a little weird.
Let me actually Google The Paper Brigade real quick and see if I can.
So was this, as a Disney premiere movie, was it originally, like, how did it end up on HBO? How did it become an HBO thing?
I kind of looked this. I kind of looked this up.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was produced by a Utah-based company called Leucadia Film Corporation, and it was released on video. And then from there, it just frequently aired on HBO and Disney Channel. So it doesn't fully explain, but it seems like it was not necessarily originally a Disney premiere film, but then they showed it on Disney and categorized it as such.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I was confused by that too. But just to do justice, I'm going to say really quickly, give a snippet about the real Paper Brigade.
Yeah.
All right. The Paper Brigade was the name given to a group of residents of the Vilna ghetto who hid a large cache of Jewish cultural items from the Yiddish Scientific Institute, saving them from destruction or theft by Nazi Germany. Established in 1942 and led by Abraham Sutzkever, I might have said that very wrong, I apologize, and Shmerky Kokzerginski, the group smuggled books, paintings, and sculptures past Nazi guards and hid them in various locations in and around the ghetto. After the ghetto's liquidation, surviving members of the group fled to join the Jewish partisans, eventually returning to Vilna following its liberation by Soviet forces. Recovered works were used to establish the Vilna Jewish Museum, and then smuggled to the United States, where the Yiddish Scientific Institute had reestablished itself during the 1940s. Caches of hidden materials continued to be discovered in Vilna until the early 1990s. Despite losses during the Nazi and Soviet eras, 30 to 40% of the Yiddish Scientific Institute archive was preserved, which now represents the, quote, largest collection of material about Jewish life in Eastern Europe that exists in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that context, the name does seem a little insensitive. Like, we're not going to compare these little paper boys to the Paper Brigade. Like,
Yeah.
people
So
trying
I found
to preserve
that weird.
their Jewish culture from Nazi Germany. That's odd.
Yeah. I thought that was really weird. And then, especially because I believe they mentioned that Old Man Cooper was in World
Was a
War
vet.
II.
Yeah, he's a vet. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also, I'll save it. I won't jump ahead. But there's a very culturally insensitive choice made later in the film.
Oh, I wonder what you're talking about. I don't think I have any notes on it.
Okay, I'll bring it up when the time comes. Okay. So we then see him going to collect his like paper dues, and he's getting tipped out the ass. He's fucking killing it. He's great at his job.
Money.
Yes, and we see the guy who refuses to pay the bill try to sneak out. And I remembered what happened here, and I was so stoked to see it play out. And so he's in his car driving away, like got him again, and Gunther pops up in the backseat. Like you thought. Fuck around and find out.
Right. It's like, I got you, bitch.
Yeah, and he gets that money. He gets that money, which is a true, amazing, gangster move. We love to see it.
It really was. He's a boss.
All the paper boys are like, wow, you've like surpassed us. You're amazing. Like you're made for this.
Truly. Talented.
And so he's able to pay off Chad and the bullies, and they see how much money Gunther has.
He's
and
flaunting
they
it.
decide, yeah, he really is. And I'm like, that's so foolish. Like, don't let people think you have money.
Right. Just pay the man the $175 and walk away like you don't got another dime, baby. Just go.
Yes, exactly.
But no,
exactly.
he's like, here's a little something
target
for you and a little something for you. And then he's like fanning himself with the money as he walks away. I'm like, bruh, you're doing too much.
Doing the most. So they decide, you know what, we're taking over the Paperboy gigs because we want all that money.
Yeah, we want to make money too. Even though they're so fucking bad at it. They're horrible.
Yeah, they're terrible at it. So they come in and just take shit over. And for some reason, they all blame Gunther for this. Like, Gunther, why didn't you stand up to him?
Right.
Like, why did you let this happen? I'm like, why is this on Gunther?
He's literally the newest member of this team. Why is it his responsibility to save the paper route for y'all? Like, hello? And then even Allison like gives him grief. She's like, they look up to you. I thought you were the type of person to stand up for what you believe in. And I'm like,
I just thought you were different, that's all.
Yeah, like my boy is trying to avoid severe injury. These people already tried to kill him once. Okay? Like, hello?
And he explains that and people don't seem to get it. Like, who's out here trying to get their ass kicked?
He really says it multiple times. He's like, that guy was gonna tap dance on my face. Hello? Please.
People
I'm like, bro,
you're a bitch, Gunther, okay? You should have stood up for us. Oh my goodness. And then like to make it even worse, Gunther's dad is like, I'm so proud of you. I've never seen you this dedicated to anything. So he's really feeling guilty because apparently keeping the Paperboys going is his sole responsibility.
All on his shoulders. It's all up to him for some reason.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And he goes by to see Mrs. Hansen, and he sees the first issue of the Gazette, which is their local paper, on her wall. And we find out that her husband, Mr. Hansen, actually founded it. And she says he cared more about the paper than he did baseball, which I'm like, that's not saying much for a lot of people.
Yeah, not really. I mean, one was his job. Right?
I care more about dental hygiene than baseball. You know, like lots of things I care more. Most things I care about more than baseball.
Yeah, baseball is quite low on the list, so
doesn't make the list. Doesn't make the cut. And she mentioned that she and her husband used to go to the game every year, and since he's passed, she goes every year on their anniversary. But this year, she fears she won't make it because she's getting too old and her bones are getting too weary.
Yeah.
Gunther then feels inspired knowing that he has just this one more connection to the paper and what it means to this community. And he goes to the paper boys and is like, let's get our routes back, bitch.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. So, we have all of them like in their little outfits,
Yeah,
like
they
prepared
have,
to go
like,
to war.
little, armor on. Like, they're so adorable.
The thing is, okay, so Charlie is wearing weird Japanese headband and makeup, and it's weird.
Oh, he
And like
was.
a wig, because he has like a little like top knot. Like it's
Why? Oh my God. Why
it's
didn't that like cross
bad.
my mind? And I'm like, yeah, why is he dressed up like that?
I don't know, but it was very culturally offensive, and I'm like,
Mm.
is this like movies commentary on World War II? Like, I don't understand
I'm
what's
starting
being
to think
communicated to
so.
me.
Starting to
And
think
like
so, but I'm not getting the
that,
ties. I'm not getting the references because
I
they're
mean,
the Paper Brigade. So why is he
right.
dressed like a traditional like Japanese samurai?
Well, because we hated Japan during the World War II.
Oh, but that was
I don't
us,
know.
not Jewish people, right?
That was
Or did
us, yeah.
yeah? And if they're the Paper Brigade
So
in this analogy, they're Jewish people trying to preserve their history from being engulfed by Nazi Germany. Like, I don't know.
I cannot tell you. I do not understand what's going on here. But it's also weird because we have the whole like milkman like offensive
Yeah.
Asian scene and this. So it's just like, what's happening in this
What are you
movie? And then I'm not certain about this, but I will just say that I feel like Gunther's hat looked like a Confederate soldier hat, which also made me feel weird.
What?
Yes.
I must have missed that. I only remember his mask, like the black and white mask that he wore the first time around.
He's wearing like a little hat during the entire like revenge seeking scene, and it is. I'm just actually gonna Google it because I meant to do this sooner.
Yeah. Hold on, let me look it up.
And it is straight up a Confederate hat.
Oh my God.
Straight up.
What is happening?
Straight up.
I mean, I know it's 1996, but please, like, what are we doing? Oh no.
Yeah.
Gunther,
Anyway, there's
you're
that.
supposed to be... This isn't you, Gunther.
Yeah, I hate to see it, but here we are.
Yeah,
that
that's a little...
I just had to call that out. I'm not going to mention them again. That aside,
God.
they they start by siphoning gas from the bully's car. Which the bullies use the car to deliver papers.
Mhm.
So they take their gas and they get back in the car and it's empty. And Chad is in disbelief because he just put $2 in this thing, and I'm like,
$2. What is that now? Like half a gallon?
empty. That's empty, baby. You're still empty.
Ain't no gas
I wouldn't
out
mean
there
shit.
for 2 gallons.
I'd be like,
for $2.
And
Right. Like, hello?
oh my gosh! But he put a whole $2 in there, so he's like, "What's going on here?"
Like, what? I'm shocked.
Yeah. And with that, they're off with Operation Humiliate and Destroy.
Yes.
So they recruit the treehouse assholes and give them some redemption arc. The bullies decide to go steal the bikes from the Paper Brigade, and they finish their routes on bike.
They replace the bikes with like really little like baby little bikes with the baskets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cute.
So the treehouse assholes pelt the bullies with like fruit or one of their bullies with fruit, the one who's on that route, and he falls over and they end up dumping a bunch of pea soup on him. It's gross. And
he keeps his mouth open for some dumb reason. Don't know why. I guess to scream, but I feel like if someone's pouring gross liquid on me, I'm closing my mouth.
I am 100% with you. But maybe the director is like, leave your mouth open. It's better for comedic effect, which I would say, you got to replace me. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is
not doing
the line.
Yeah. If I was that kid, I would take my ass straight home and shower. Fuck these papers. Yeah. They also put ants in his papers, like so that when he like goes to get the papers, there's ants crawling on him.
He like starts to ride away, but then he has to stop and like he does the ant dance because there's ants crawling all over him now.
Yeah, I have a real adult job, and if I got pelted with pea soup and covered in ants on my way to work, I'm going home, baby. I'm taking a shower.
My day is done. I've done all I can for this day. Yeah, I gotta go.
It's gone as badly as it could, and I'm done.
I'm out.
So we then go to Jeff, whose code name is Jeff Boyardee, which is pretty great. He's one of the paper boys. I just thought that was fun.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and they're dealing with the second bully, and they handle with him with the dog. So they like have the big one attack him.
Mm-hmm.
And to deal with all three of them, I'm gonna call them the Nerd Herd. The bully's called the like paper boys Nerd Herd. I just like that. I think it's a cute name. So
It's
the
cute.
Nerd Herd's at Old Man Cooper's, and they're about to fuck these people's shit up.
Really about to rock it.
Yes. So with Cooper, they attack the bullies with paintball guns. They also begin to fall into booby traps and are getting hurt and messed up. Pea Soup has a bucket of goose poop. Don't.
Oh my god.
He gets up the worst. Like,
oh, it was so
Soup.
disgusting.
Oh.
And the
Yeah,
feathers.
just like a bucket of goose poop. Yeah.
He just got it all.
Yeah, they feather the guy in the mud pit and they're just like messing with them. So Chad is kind of like lost in like clothes or like sheets are hanging from the clothing line. And so Gunther takes the opportunity to punch him in the face behind the sheet. And he's like, I owed you that. And he's, you know, we can't disagree. Yeah. Then they are chased off the property by the geese along with like all the bullies are chased off by the geese. So they're gone. And they're like, forget this. You can have your paper routes back. And the paper boys, the Nerd Herd, they reign supreme and triumphant. Woo!
Victory. And of course, Allison comes out from her house and she's like, what's going on? Well, she doesn't actually say anything. She just like looks in their direction. Like, and she and Gunther like lock eyes.
Gunther. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then we go to Gunther. He's in his bedroom. He's looking at the concert tickets, and Andrew's brother asks, "Was it worth it?" And we're like, "What are you talking about, Andrew?" But we find out. We see Allison entering a limo that's pulled up outside of her home. She's handed a rose. Of course, we think that Gunther's inside, but who is it? It's Andrew.
It is and
he's wearing
baby boy.
And his tiny little baby boy. He's wearing Gunther's sunglasses. Which look great on him.
They do.
And
he looks adorable.
And okay, before we get to the creepiness of it all, I thought it was weird that Gunther's like, instead of like, hey Allison, I can't go, but do you want to bring a friend? He's like, you know what? I'm gonna have my 11-year-old brother accompany you.
Yes. To this rock concert by the Screaming Banshees.
I'd be like, pass.
A limo. Yeah, I'd be like, actually, I'm good. Like, no,
I don't want to hang out with an 11-year-old. That's weird optics.
Yeah, not really on my list of things to do today.
But Andrew apologizes for Gunther not being there, and Allison's like, "Oh, I'm sure it was really important if he couldn't make it." And Andrew's like, "Yeah, it was." And Allison's like, "So why couldn't he make it?" And Andrew's like, "He made me promise not to tell." And then Allison, in a very predatory move, scoots up and starts flirting hardcore with Andrew, which I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's disgusting. I hate it.
Gross.
And of course, we no, he fesses up. We don't see it, but we're pretty confident it happens. We then cut to the baseball game. And of course, sweet Gunther has taken sweet Mrs. Hanson to the game on our anniversary. And he's really grown so much in this film. Like, I really was like, this boy's a shit. And now I'm like, you know, he's really like a wonderful human.
He's a great young man. Love him.
He really is. So as he's there at the game, we see Allison come in. And she'd rather hang out with Gunther at the game than go to the concert with his little brother, which, I mean, same.
Yeah.
And they share a kiss, and we have one last shot of Gunther giving the camera a knowing look and a wink, and the movie ends.
That look into the camera, so classic.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens at any other point. I don't think there's any, like, camera, like there's no first person anything.
There's no fourth wall breaking at all, except for that.
Oh, that's what I meant. Fourth wall breaking. First person.
I knew what you meant, girl.
You got me.
I want to note that none of these kids wear helmets during this movie.
Yeah, not a single time.
And unsafe. Very unsafe.
Very unsafe, especially when Gunther was almost killed.
Yeah.
By the Chad Mafia.
yeah, I enjoy this movie. I don't really have too much else to say about it. Do you have any other like thoughts that you wanted to share?
Not really. It was a cute little moment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So we're going to continue our ranking. This is our third film, and our first one was Suzy Q, and then we watched Wish Upon a Star. So where do we want to rank this? I can start. I think that I would put it below Wish Upon a Star, above Suzy Q. It would be number 2 in my ranking.
I can get with that. Yeah,
Okay.
I enjoyed Wish Upon a Star more, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And you feel like it belongs above Suzy Q?
I mean, I guess Suzy Q wasn't as riveting as the Paper Brigade. Like, it wasn't as
Suzy Q
enticing, I would say.
Yeah, it was about property law ultimately, which I'm like, that's a weird
Yeah, it was a little boring.
focus for a kids film, and like this is about a Paper Brigade, which I mean, or like Paper Boys, which is like strong 90s kid content.
Yes.
Okay.
More relatable for sure. Highly relatable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have Wish Upon a Star, Paper Brigade, Suzy Q. And
All right,
then
I'll start to keep track.
Yeah, and then next week we'll be watching. We're actually moving over to actual Disney Channel original movies.
It's time.
And the first one we'll be watching is 1997's Under Wraps.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. This is one I've seen. I know we both saw it somewhat recently, like in the past couple years.
Yeah.
And I like this one. I'm excited to rewatch it. I don't actually remember it as well as I feel like I should, so it'll be cool to rewatch.
like
And
I remember some wild lines, like some real, not like adult lines, but like dramatic things that these kids would say. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this earlier, but did we want to like clump series together? So like there's an Under Wraps remake and there's an Under Wraps 2 that follows the remake. Do you want to watch like all of the Under Wraps, or do you want to like just keep going in release order?
I feel like we should do the series because then it's fresh, you know?
Okay, cool.
And
that's what you said initially, so I just wanted to double check. Because that means we'll do like all the Halloween towns, all the Xenons, like, you know, all come up together.
Wait, when are the Halloween towns gonna come up? Because I mean, it's the season for Halloween Town. But I feel like they're far down on that list.
When are we even gonna release these? Like, I don't know.
True. I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, I will say that Halloween Town is, so we have Under Wraps, Under Wraps, Under Wraps 2, You Lucky Dog, all-time fave.
Jesus.
Brink, and then Halloween Town.
Can we not skip that one? We just watched that, like, I don't know how recently, but it's too soon to watch it again. It's so bad.
We can't skip it. We're going in order, except for series.
Let's just say we forgot.
Let's just get it over with. I signed myself up to do the notes for that one because I know you hate it. So I certainly don't like it. I don't want to go off too much, but the movie does not even make sense.
Not
like the way that they just this fucking movie. I'm like thinking about it too much. The way they display his psychic talents does not make any fucking sense. Like
none. We're already amped up, and it's not even. It's so far down the list.
It's not like he's like just. He should just be like himself and be like, Lucky thinks this, Lucky thinks that, but he like turns into a dog.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to
goes inside the dog?
What happens to Kirk Cameron's soul when Lucky enters him? Because Lucky is also still Lucky though. Like Lucky is also Lucky, and then Lucky is Kirk Cameron.
Mm-hmm. He's just floating around, chilling nearby.
It would be a body swap where like Kirk Cameron would be the.
Yeah, as
the movie makes no sense.
He should be acting like a dog.
It's like, I can't possess you and then also still be me. That's not how it works.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, fuck that movie. We're gonna do it in a couple weeks.
Unfortunately.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Next week we're gonna do Under Wraps, and then we're gonna do the whole Under Wraps series. So if you wanted to binge them, feel free. That's probably what we'll end up doing.
So excited for Under Wraps.
Thank you. And until next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to The Bomb Decom. You can follow us all over the internet on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at The Bomb Decom, and at our website at thebombdecom.com. You can also email us at thebombdecom@gmail.com. We release new episodes every Wednesday, so you better find your ass back here next week.
This show was created, produced, and hosted by us, Bethany Birdhill and Crystal Innes, and edited by me, Crystal. Our theme music credit also goes to DJ Quads. Thank you, DJ Quads, for the excellent music. You can find them on YouTube. And we will see you next time, babies. Bye.